आज कर सकते हैं शांति पाठ से या शांति प्रार्थना जो भी। तो हाथों को जोड़ लें, हाथ बंद, लंबी गहरी सांस लेते हुए गहरा लंबा ओम का उच्चारण करें। भवतु सहनौनक्तु वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु। प्रार्थना करें भगवान कृष्ण देवता जो भी है जिन्हें आप मानते हैं, प्रकृति को मानते हैं, सत्ता को मानते हैं, आत्मा को। मैं आपकी शरण में हूँ, इस विद्या को सीखने के लिए आपके पास ये अहंकार मुझको कभी हावी नहीं और मैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा ज्ञान का चिंता ज्ञान मेरा न सिर्फ तार्किक व्यवहारिक भी है, मेरे कल्याण के साथ साथ समाज मन से ऐसी प्रार्थना करते हैं। शांत बैठे, सर्व शांत, आंखों को रगड़ें, हल्का मसाज। जब आसन की बात आती है तो स्थिर आसन कहा गया है, यानी कोई भी आसन अगर स्थिर है और सुखकारी। सुखकारी का अर्थ ये नहीं कि बैठने पे आपको परम आनंद लगे, नहीं। अगर हल्का फुल्का दर्द भी हो मगर वो बिहेरेबल हो, जिससे कि आपकी बौद्धिक क्षमता या किसी चीज को बढ़ाए, उसे भी सुख की ही अनुभूति कहा जाता है। सिर्फ सुखम आसन, आसन की परिभाषा है कि स्थिर हो, उसमें आप लंबे समय तक बैठ पाए, आपको ठीक लगे, आप उसको सहन कर सकते हैं। उसकी ही आसन की परिभाषा दी। सबसे पहला आसन है पद्मासन। आज मैं आप लोगों से रिविजिट करते हुए बार बार पूछूंगा वो जो मेजर चीजों के बारे में हमने अभी तक जाना, कहीं आपने उसको यौगिक प्रैक्टिस की तरफ भूलते नहीं है। हम उसको दोबारा दोहराएंगे और उसको याद रखने की कोशिश करेंगे, ये होना चाहिए। And today I am recording this session to ensure ये जो small nuggets हैं ये आप दोबारा रिविजिट कर सकते हैं। अगर बाद में कहीं आगे बढ़ते हुए उतर जाए तो आप हमेशा इसको आकर दोबारा देख सकते हैं और समझ सकते हैं कि क्या बताया गया। सबसे पहला आसन ध्यान की आसन। आसन की तीन परिभाषा है, दो या तीन कहीं। एक है ध्यान का आसन, ठीक है, एक है व्यायाम का आसन। एक तीसरा है चिकित्सा का आसन, कोई न कोई बीमारी की। पहला जो श्लोक है ध्यान के आसन में आता है, सुखासन, पद्मासन, पद्मकोणासन, इस तरह के आसन जिसमें ध्यान में आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा लंबे समय तक रह सकते। तो पद्मासन में सबसे पहले क्या इम्पोर्टेंट, कौन बताएगा? अमित जी।
जी सर, एक पैर
पद्मासन में सबसे पहले ज्यादा क्या इम्पोर्टेंट?
सबसे पहले बॉडी पोस्चर इम्पोर्टेंट है। अगर आप नहीं बैठ पा रहे हैं तो पीछे एक सपोर्ट लेने के लिए आपने बताया था।
ओके,
सीधा बैठ।
तो पद्मासन में क्योंकि हम जिस आराम से बैठते हैं, तो आराम से बैठने के लिए हमारे शरीर में जो बदलाव है उसको थोड़ा सा समझो। जब आप टेंस है, तो आपके ये पाँव छोटे हैं, ठीक उसी तरह से अगर आप इस तरह से बैठे हो तो ये पाँव जो है आपका, आप डॉक्टर पाठक, ध्यान के आसन या पद्मासन का जो मेन मुख्य आधार है कि ये जो पार्ट है, जांघ का पार्ट, जो कि शरीर का पूरा वजन होता है, ये रिलैक्स होने की परिभाषा क्या है? तो जैसे मैंने कई सूचक के बारे में कहा था कि पद्मासन सही लग रहा है, इसके लिए अगर मेरा पाँव मुड़ा है और रिलैक्स, तो उसके लिए कुछ चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट। पहला क्या, कुछ चीजों को समझे। जैसे मुझे अगर पद्मासन में जाना है तो पद्मासन में मैं किस तरह से जाऊँ? यूजली हम लोग आते हैं और हम लोग क्या करते हैं, बैठ गुड इनफ। लेट्स सी अगर कोई नहीं लगा पाता तो उसका क्या करें? पद्मासन के लिए दोनों पांव सीधे होने चाहिए, घुटनों पे दबाव नहीं, इसलिए कहा गया कि दंडासन में बैठ के शिथिलीकरण अच्छे से करें। उसके बाद बात आती है अब क्या। तो देखिए, जैसे पांव मुड़ा, जो हमारे घुटने हैं, घुटने पे जो दबाव है, additional pressure that you get using on the knee, let's try to understand what we can do. If your thighs are pressing against your hamstrings, right, तो यहाँ पर एडिशनल प्रेशर एग्जर्ट हो, यहाँ पर प्रॉपर रिलैक्सेशन नहीं हो सकती। और अगर लेग बहुत टाइट है, आप जैसे इसको गिराएंगे यू विल फील दिस, और ये टाइटनेस आपको यहाँ पर शिन बोन का जो एरिया है, मसल, इसको भी रिलीज होगा। तो इसके लिए क्या कहा गया, इसलिए कि यू बेसिकली प्लेस योर हैंड लाइक दिस, चार उंगलियां अंगूठे हैं, अंगूठों को दोनों तरफ से आप पकड़ते हैं और इसको आप स्क्वीज करते हो किसी एक तरफ या तो निकाल, जैसे मैं इसको बाहर की तरफ निकाल दूं जितना हो सके, एंड देन आई रिलीज, एंड देन यू फील इट। It's more about palpitation. Now feel it. How do you feel in your knees? You will feel much less strain because that additional pressure that was generated by the gastrocnemius muscles and the lower muscles, hamstring, that was basically pushing on the knees. Now you will feel a sense of relaxation. ये जैसे relax है, it will allow this part to get stretched easily. Because now अगर ये relax है, and further it allows here with the relaxation. Now, first class पद्मासन के लिए क्या जरूरी होता है? सबसे पहली जरूरत, the most important thing is the straightness in your shin part, जो front part, ये straight होना जरूरी है. This part should be parallel to the ground. It should touch the ground. अगर ये touch नहीं कर रहा है, it means there is additional strain here or tightening of muscles here or in the knees. It's not allowing this to happen. कई बार आपके पास बहुत heavy subject है. Heavy means someone who is very massive. In these people, जब वो thumb से करेंगे तो काम नहीं हो पाता. What do you will do in that? How will you do? Take a belt or anything. Even a traditional belt will also work. What you do is just take it. इसको आप यहाँ पर लगा दें. Heavy person. इसको हल्का सा fold करते हैं and then you pull it. And then you pull it. तो बेसिकली वो जब पूरी तरह से बैठ चुका है, then you pull these muscles. Pull it. This allows even for heaviest muscles इसको reshuffle करना. Even you can use that this area also. Even with thighs बहुत ज़्यादा मोटे हैं, तो thighs को basically कैसा होना चाहिए? इसका जो हो lateral extension होना चाहिए. अगर ये करने में ना बेल्ट का सहारा ले, उसको पकड़े, इस साइड से पूरा कर खींचे इसको अच्छे से, ये lateral rotation बनने में आसानी है. And then you pull at the last, and then you have the folded leg. So major components are alignment of the lower muscles, upper, right? First of all, rolling of the upper skin. After the upper skin comes this lateral part. Whether this is straight or not, whether you see whether this part ये जो है ये जमीन पे आसानी से रह पाता है, whether this part is able to touch the ground easily or not. Now, अब यहाँ तक हम आ गए, पद्मासन में आ गए, but you feel that the person legs are more here. ये नहीं हो पाता. Why that doesn't happen? Look at the posture. Why? अगर किसी का leg ऐसा रहेगा, so the posture is somehow bound to be, little tilted backward. ये होगा. इसको करने का तरीका क्या है कि हम अपने pelvis को नीचे ड्रॉप करें. अगर ड्रॉप करेंगे तो जो ये upper tilt है legs का, ये नीचे की तरफ जा सकता है. So to solve this problem, usually you can use a block or a folded towel or something. कुछ भी इस तरह का आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. A small blanket. You put it below the butt. The moment your position goes up, your ability to go straight increases. And thereafter what happens? See, you can see a straightness in your lower and this extension in your abductor muscles. Okay. So just by raising your butt up, giving you a height, this somehow realigns your entire upper trunk in a way where this is more natural for your body to get straightness in your legs. And if thereafter also you feel problem, अगर आपको दिक्कत महसूस हो रही है, you can then provide some kind of support on this. Because the whole idea is what? Sthiram Sukham Asana. If someone in the age of 40s and 50s, अगर वो आता है, he comes for a yoga session, or the first or second day or the first week, he keeps on feeling this pain, what will happen? He will run away. So your job is first of all to provide him more a restorative kind of approach where his muscles could get conditioned of being in a specific posture. Let build that capacity. And later on further, more extensive asanas could be provided. Any questions? पद्मासन को लेकर कोई प्रश्न है क्या? Let's move to the other asana, that is Baddha Kona Asana. Baddha Kona Asana. Baddha Kona Asana means the butterfly pose, whatever what people call it as usually, right? The butterfly. Now, how being into a butterfly for extended period of time allows for better your stretch of your abductor muscles. अंदर की मांसपेशियों को ज्यादा खोलने में मदद करता है, जिससे पद्मासन और बैठ के लगाने वाले जितने भी आसन हैं उनमें काफी मदद मिलती है. So how to do butterfly pose? Again, you have to see whether being into a butterfly position, how a person basically is able to get into. If he is somewhere here, right, or someone like here, or someone who is like absolutely, agar he is somewhere in between, let's understand, if I'm below the ground, the moment I am on the ground, again the tendency of my shin bone and the upper thigh, जो है thighs, this is more pulled towards the top. Again, how we can make it more straight, how we can align our body posture first of all. Why? Because in butterfly pose, what happens? Let's understand. When we do our first class butterfly, we basically use our hands, block our 10 fingers here, and then with extension and exhalation. So it's like it provides a stretch here, here, and again to the trunk also, specifically the side oblique and the front abdominal muscles. Provides a stretch there also. Why? Because the moment you extend here, then you pull your spine for that internal lift. Now, so anyone who is trying to get into butterfly, again the same protocol for Padmasana will follow, where you will take the leg and then extend the thighs, reshuffle the thighs, the calf muscle and the thighs a bit, so that space could be created. और जब ये space आएगा, then there is less strain on the knees. Same way on the other leg also, right? So it's like more pulling and opening of this. The moment you have this, you will feel somehow the position gets more easier because there is less strain on the kneecap. Now, in this position, if someone is not able to get full-fledged, what you do is you will use a little bit of height. The moment a person goes on height, it perfectly realigns your shin bones, your abductors, and now the only thing left is the spine or the upper trunk part. Now, as I said, the whole idea of this butterfly is to create this ground or the foundation in such a way from where this side log oblique and upper trunk would be, there's no restructure, right? So for that, if you want to create further deep stretch, what you do is you like Dandasana, you keep your towards the back, and then you inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now during this entire process, you feel that your shoulders or the entire this shoulder column from the ACL joint to the clavicular bone, this side also. If you feel you tend to go back, then you will start using the blocks. The blocks allows you to raise your, and this helps you to the perfect line. So, Baddha Asana is one of new postures through which your entire chest cavity, diaphragm, lower pelvic muscles, all these could be realized somehow and relaxed. It allows for better oxygenation, deoxygenation from your torso as well as the upper diaphragm. This even allows for opening of the clavicular cavity. So we have spoke about 3 levels of breathing: abdominal breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, and the clavicular area breathing. Udar Shwasana, Vakshwasana, or Skandha. So the Skandha that we're talking about, this even allows for that foundation where this could become very easy. Right? The gate should be at the level of your eyes, eyesight, or something above that, a little bit above that. Now, being in this posture resettles your entire posture, entire breathing pattern. Because all the 3 major areas have got ample stretch, ample ability of getting pressure. Now, after this, how Baddha Asana could be used as a tool to move forward for different poses like pigeon pose or Hanumanasana, Anjaneyasana, something like that. How? Opening of the leg is facilitated by your abductors and all these muscles of the leg and the joint. Now, to facilitate when you are able to be in this position. So the whole idea is to create that extra space. How will you do that? Now, when you are able to be in this position, one easiest way is to hold your legs and do butterflies, like 100, 200 times. This allows for conditioning of your entire arms. As well as what it does is the moment when you try to do something, usually your body comes with a lot of pain. But when you do that, the same thing, suddenly you feel that your ability to do the same thing increases. Right? In the same way, the further you do a warm up of your butterflies or the thigh muscle, your ability to further work on these muscles increases. Anyone who suffers from any vata related issues or pain related issues, especially in the leg spasm or something, this is all about stagnant air pocket. How can you mobile it? How can you move it? Is by forcing your body a little bit to go out of your comfort zone and then come back. Out of your comfort zone again and then come back to it again. So this is like revisiting the same plateau, but every time the plateau is a little bit higher and higher and higher and higher, and then that increases your flexibility. Now, in the Baddha Konas, how would you go about like doing Upanishta Konasana or Hanumanas? So now then in the picture, your these yoga blocks come into. What you do is you use them in between your legs. This is like an extra space. And then you try to be in this position again for some time. And again, holding this position. So you inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So this opening is allowing for that extra stress in your sacrum, below the coccyx, especially the pelvic. Right. So being in this position and holding your legs will allow for more better opening. And if you want, you can further use it with the fluttering motion also. So this allows for opening of your abductor and all these joint muscles. Specifically, we are focused about these muscles. You know, we call it as the valley of youth. You know. Why? Because this special ridge where this joint is, these are very vital energetic centers from where the exchange of blood towards sexual and reproductive organs. Now, for the health of lower organs, this is important that you have this proper flexibility always, because once they get hardened and they develop stress knots, their ability to have that proper, what I would say, is assimilation of the fresh blood into the lower organs. And all the lower organs are not bony; they are more muscular and very, very supple kind of structures. So they need a proper, immersed into the circulation of blood. If they will not be, your health more on the lower body organs will start degrading from day by day. So this is very, very important, especially someone who comes with PCOD, PCOS, or all these kind of systems, and even in males also. So this was the Baddha Konas. Now we will talk about Padangusthasana, Padasana. But specifically, we will speak about Padangusthasana. Padangusthasana is what? Let's understand. Padangusthasana is about when you lay down on the ground. It's seen. Lay down on the ground and you raise your legs, right? And you try to hold. Yes. Now, as you can see here, this is clear. The ability of a person to hold your leg and straighten it up, right, is very, 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 very limited. So this need to be increased gradually. Now, so any point of time, if you are doing this and you are getting this stretch, where is that? Here, the calf or the gastrocnemius muscles, or somewhere on the knee part, or in the hamstring area. Very well. So if somehow you are feeling it here in the gastrocnemius part, and you can feel this extension. Okay, so let's have a closer look. So it will give you more clear picture. If you put your hand on the calf, right, and I move my toes towards up, I can feel a contraction here in my muscles, right? But if I move it towards me, I can feel a further extension here. I can feel that opening of or the lengthening of this. In the same way, whenever I get this, I can see these tendons here. So anyhow, you are seeing the tendons here. This is more like the longitudinal stretch of your hamstring muscle. Now, longitudinal stretch of this hamstring muscle, and if you take any this stretch here, okay, this means that these muscles are core engaged. But the whole point of any of these asanas, like Uttan Padasana or Padangushtasana, the whole point of these muscles is to generate that pull in your socket joint. If you're not feeling from the socket joint, it means you're doing something wrong. So how can we imitate that? The whole point. So let's understand. Above your kneecaps, you have the gastrocnemius or the calf muscle, and below you have the hamstrings. Right? Now, in the hamstrings, whenever we basically try to pull or hold our thumb, this entire muscle goes haywire because this gets stretched. But whole idea is to condition these muscles to increase their capability to have this lateral stretch, especially in the thigh region. This entire stretch of the thigh region, that should be more lateral. Now, how we do that? I have explained in the first few classes, but this is so crucial because if you do Padangushtasana in the standing postures or anywhere, this is going to help. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen is, if you do it wrong, your hamstrings are already very thin. If you keep on stretching it, this will more become like a paper, and you will lose your strength from there. So, to get it, the best way is to use a yoga belt. If you don't have, women could use a chunni or something, or you can use usually the lighter towel that we have. You can fold one end and you can clasp. Okay. Now, the whole idea of these four postures is, first of all, to get the length. So you have got the length, so that's comfortable. Now the belt is positioned at the metatarsals area, right, or somewhere closer to the fingers. Now from here, what we do is we pull our leg, right, in a comfortable way, so that there is no pressure or no extension here or in your calf. Now focus on whether in your hamstring do you feel that longitudinal from up to down stress or more lateral, like from left to right. So you can test it. If your body is comfortable, you will feel lateral stretch, lateral, lateral, lateral. But the moment this goes to up, longitudinal, it means that this is your threshold now. If I go further, I will start feeling a lot of pull here. Right? So what I will do is, I will lock it here, and I will just go down there. And it's like going in my comfort zone, right? And then holding it. And deep breath. Deep breath. again pull it. If you pull too much, then again leave it here. So if everything goes right, the stress you should feel somewhere here, like closer to the joint. It should come from here, not here or anywhere else. Okay? So just relax. Use the same way for the other leg also. And never ever do one leg stretch. Otherwise, one leg gets shortened and another one leg long. So this will create us a symmetrical. Now again, I'm here in this leg, but this leg, like this leg, I have limited mobility. Limited mobility means I'm just on the verge of like 60 degrees, and the moment I move 65, I can feel the stretch here in my calves or gastrointestinal. So what I do, I will just relax it for some time. Knee straight, and then come back to it. And again, the knee straight. Come back to it. Just remember the protocol. If the stress or the pull is coming more from the socket joint or muscles above the socket joint, it's fine. The moment it shifts to the hamstrings, closer to the knees areas or the calf, it means you are doing it wrong. And again, going to be comfortable. So in this way, gradually, basically, you try to get that length here. And then there would be a time when this will become much more easier for you. You want to hold your leg and get that length. So the idea is not to reach out to your legs, but rather having enough flexibility from the joint so that your legs would be in reach of your hands. So there is a big difference. So starting always needs to be done from the place from where we are trying to reach to the leg, and during the course of 1 week or more than that, we can build this capability. Okay. What are other ways through which we can create this flexibility? Because this motion is more like, I would say, more from the front side. What about the sideways and other these motions? So for them, I will show you with a chair. Now to get these, what you do is you place your leg on these chairs. Please, madam. Please. But you remember that again the same thing. The motion should come from here. One. This entire part should be straight, and this could be ensured by pulling your fingers towards you. Now this is for me is more comfortable. I can do it by just increasing the height of my legs. And during this entire course of time, you basically focus on the positioning of your pelvis. The positioning of your pelvis should be more like, I should say, that this is not too up and not too down. Okay, so it should be more in balance, in symmetry kind of. The closer, the better. Again, the moment you have this pull from here, this should be extended with a pull here. So how we do it? So by moving our trunk through the direction of the stretch, moving towards the opposite direction. The more we move our trunk. So how I can do it? I can do this from here. So I can do that by by just imagine that my legs are somewhere here, right? So how I can do is I can move my body more here. I can open this portion of my chest, more head towards this, and my legs are. This create that not only openness but this entire two-directional stretch that allows for opening of the body with that stretch also. This could be done with both. Okay. So this was with the Padangushasana. There are few major places from where you need to get flexible. One is definitely the legs, lower legs. Now let's talk about the foundation of the leg. What do we mean by the legs? As I have tried to explain in class before, that whenever you stand, the entire weight of your body is basically distributed over your legs. This is scattered over your legs. Now, what are the major imbalances those are created in your body? So let's understand. The leg that you have, this entire plantar fascia, and this is the dorsal fascia. So this entire plantar fascia where you have got a small dip. And this was even I was trying to explain in one of the theory classes that how wearing of sandals and shoes has basically made our legs more immobile. The ability of our legs depends on all the torsals, metatarsals, small ligaments, tendons, how they are basically exercised. But the more we have started using sleepers and everything, these small tissues and fibers are not getting exercised at all. And this is the irony that the more expensive shoes that you are buying from the market, they are on a contrary not allowing your leg even to function in a much more harmful way. How? Let's understand the motion first. What happens when you walk? So the moment you place your leg on the ground, so the first point that touches is, let's move closer to the
heels.
Now, since this part is hollow, the plantar side is hollow, so now the weight gets transferred to the right side. Because all these columns are more, they have a downward tilt. So this goes to here. And from the right side, the weight follows to all the metatarsals starting from the smaller fingers, the middle finger, the index finger, and then you have the bigger thumb, bigger toe here. And from the thumb, exactly the weight transfers towards, from the torsals, it's more towards the left. And thereafter, when you walk, the weight gets transferred on the next leg. Okay. So this is, let's understand, this is a more motion where this is more like, I'm trying to exaggerate it, and the moment you walk out, this is more like this, right? So in the same way, your legs are not like a flat leg kind of motion, but this is more like, how should I explain it? Have you saw the tires, the wheels of scooter or anything? When there is less air into it, the air basically moves, right? It's like, but you have this imbalanced posture kind of motion that happens within the wheel of the tire wheels. So what's happening is your leg is also wobbling like this. I'm again exaggerating it, trying to show you, but your legs also wobbles like this most of the time. Okay. And why this happens? We have spoken in the class before in the evening that we have a talus bone. Where exactly this is from that position here. So there are many phrases with the talus. Talus is more like a flat structure bone with a more, little semi-circled kind of oval shape from the top, and over which all these ligaments and everything are placed. So this wobbling function is very definite to have it, because your this heel part is a little bit up, and then you have this first the heel, then this wobbling towards the right, then front, and then the left, and then the knees. So this is absolutely normal. So the whole idea is, they don't say that the person who stays on their legs. No, they speak about the stability of this talisman. So this wobbling function, whenever you wear any sleepers or anything, these sleepers and cushioning basically starts compensating for it. And the higher end shoes even have the support for the plantar fascia part also. This curve that we have in the legs here, even to cover this also. So what I mean by is that you might be running for 5 or 7 kilometers, but the kind of shoes that you're wearing is not allowing you. So the best posture, a best way is to rebalance your body structure is by running barefoot first of all. Now let's get back to how to condition it, how to realign it, and how to palpitate it. Now this is very, very important, because on this front, usually you will find that the imbalances in a body usually starts at this level. And anything that you do at this, any changes that you do can exactly reshuffle at your knees as well as the upper thigh and the joints. So let's understand. What you do is you place the toe, the heel part, at one of yoga block, and you place the metatarsals on the other yoga block. What you do is you try to balance and try to understand that where exactly your weight is shifting a lot, whether towards the right hand side, where you are feeling the centeredness of your body weight. Do you feel towards the heels? You feel the toes, and a little bit towards the other metatarsals, right? So what you do is you palpitate, and you try to build this practice of standing on one leg. So you start with 5 seconds, and you start gradually. You build this practice for 10 to 15 seconds, one by one. This helps you, first of all, to get a sense of balance in a neutral structure, because here, what is happening is, when you are putting the entire body weight on your metatarsals and the heels, the entire plantar fascia, the middle part, is basically getting stretched in a much more neutral and balanced way. Now, this is more important, because till now, if you have a stress here and you even try to best Tadasana, if you don't have the palpitation of understanding how your toes and everything are positioned, you will not be able to understand. So this is all about palpitation, understanding how my legs shift, a little bit of twist at my toes basically sends a shock here in my glutes, how they are related, right? How a little bit of twist towards my small fingers, right, is contributing towards the front or other back muscles, more towards the upper back. So you need to palpate and then train your feet first. Now use it with the other leg, again 5 to 10 seconds. The ability of a person to balance allows for a better mind-body connection. That's why all these balancing asanas are included in the yogic posture, because imitation of this basically allows for a better mind-body connection. So I'm using my toes, and so these have become my instrument now in establishing the balance between my mind and body. And this allows for the stretch of the plantar fascia and the dorsal fascia, all these regions also. Now this is very important. Why? Because again, all these small metatarsals, small ligaments and tendons would be exercised. The talus would be reshuffled, as talus would be, the effect would be on the shin muscles and everywhere, and then on the knees, and then it will shuffle and set your glute muscle. And you can feel it just by going on one leg. You might feel the stress in specific parts. Moving your stress, moving more weight towards your toes might radiate with a lot of pain towards the inner muscles and then towards your feet. And moving towards the small finger part or the left hand side or the outer side of your body, you might feel a lot of stress towards the outer side as well as specific parts of glute, especially here. So this basically realigns your structure, and this should be done. It should be normal, I would say, more as a drill. It should be done, especially for newcomers who join you. So this was the feet and the joints, and with that, the entire socket joint. Okay, now let's talk about some drills that allows you to be in the position of Padmasana or any seated pose very easy. How can you do this? So there are different ways by which we can increase the flexibility. So, but now we will try to gain one of the postures, that is Paschimottanasana or Padahastasana. How to getting into this forward bend is important. How should be our structure should be, especially the upper trunk, and how we can build the flexibility of our thighs, specifically our hamstrings and gastrocnemius or the calf muscle. How can we? Now to do it, how I do is this is yoga mat. This is the yoga mat that I have. What I do is I place a towel or something over this. Now, and what I will do is I will try to be on this. Now, let's try to understand here whether you can create that roll forward, roll back, or roll forward, roll back motion very easily or not. If you can't do that, the best way is to first learn to create that motion. So what you do is you will use your yoga block. Use your yoga block here, and you will place your leg here. Specifically, the heels on the ground and metatarsals towards the arm. Now, here, what you do is you place it by keeping your leg straight and bending the leg. You try to transfer the weight in the front. Be here, and if you did everything wrong, you will get a gentle stretch here. The harder the surface, so I have got a yoga block, I might not feel the entire stretch, but harder the surface, yoga block is of wood, or you might use any regular brick, just cover it with some cushiony pads so that it doesn't hurt so much forces, and you basically move your body weight and you can feel this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back. The other leg. There I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then come back. Like this. So metatarsals and the heels on the ground and keeping the straight, the leg straight, and then transferring the weight. Right? Now, this allows for a much more deeper layer of extension on this side. And this drastically increases your capability of the calf muscles extension. Okay. Now, after this, if you're done with this, now let's get back to the actual part, where we provide and we do a much more dynamic stretch. What this dynamic stretch is, see, now I have this perfectly rolled yoga block, right? So if you might have a roller or something, or what you do is, if you have a pipe, a cut pipe, for drainage, you can use that, and you can roll it with a blanket or something, so that you have that extra cushion part of it. And if you want to temporarily make it only for this purposes, what you can do is you can fill it with all the fillers so that it doesn't break. Right? Now, what you do is place your leg here, up, done. So now, as you have come up to a level now, so you might find a little bit of problem in basically getting in touch with the ground. So if you can't, great. The whole idea is to roll your dorsal part towards, so your toes basically touch the ground. This conditions your Achilles tendon towards the back, right? And then come normal, and then let it slide towards the back. So if you are a little bit down, it will give you much more impact. If you can't, it doesn't matter. You can just stand also. So what I'm doing is I'm using my yoga blocks for this too. Rolling forward, and then getting back. The moment you go backward, you feel the gentle stretch in the entire calf, hamstring, and the socket. You will feel it. And during this entire drill, if you can keep your entire spine straight, so the best way you can do is you can look up, right? And you will try to generate this motion from the joint, the socket joint. Front, and then back. And exhale. 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 And then come back. Okay. And then again, sliding back. So this sliding basically creates a tension where your lower and the front muscles, so front and back muscles, all the small muscles are getting toned. And what is happening is your calf, your hamstring, and all these muscles are getting attuned to the changes in the body posture, right? And this is basically conditioning here. Now, this will allow for much more building, better flexibility now in the calves. Okay. So, if you have this rigidity in the calf, this sort of drill is very, very helpful in your yoga. Okay. Any questions? Any problem?
No.
Okay. So I assume that everything is fine. If you have questions, you can even post it in the group also, and this will allow for much more easy, a sense of discussion there. So that's it for today. So these are the four, 5 major drills that we have discussed. This allows for opening of specific muscles. Tomorrow we will get into more detail, like in Padmasana, what are other drills that we can do? What are small other kind of motions that we can use in order to activate our specific set of muscles? So tomorrow is also going to be the same category of classes that allows for understanding that why these drills are going to help me in these specific postures, what is the science behind it, and how on our scale, so without any big infrastructure, with only small things, how we can use them for our own good. So thank you so much for joining, and I will today end the class right here itself. Our today's theory class will be at the same time, that's 7:30. Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.